everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Night Live. I'm your host, Tom Bruno. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. It's going to be a special episode. I can feel it in my bones, in my bonitis. Yeah, I'm telling you that much for free. Usually a lot of preamble about who's coming on, we're doing what. But you know what? Let's just get into it today because it's a very, very exciting episode. We have a guest for you. We have a couple games for you. And you know what? We do it all for you. That's why it's important. Let's bring in our good friend, Mr. David Raby.
I come in first?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Hi, everybody.
Don't wait. They can't talk back, David. Don't. Yeah, I know. It's okay though, but we know they're there. It's like Jesus, right? Like he doesn't talk back, but we know he's there.
Black Jesus talks back.
Okay. Anyway, so let's bring in Alex Whiteley.
Are you possessed?
I know, right? It was like Black Jesus might not be here, but Satan's definitely here.
Shit.
I've been dying to use that. Sorry. Hello.
I can tell. Yeah. You're so excited.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We all know who you two are. We know who I am, but we don't know who our guest is. We know who he is, but you don't. Let's bring him inside. The host of Invest in Yourselves, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Let's welcome a Canadian gentleman, Mr. Phil Better.
Hey. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm very tired, but I just figured out that your name makes a lot of sense for what you do. Be like, hey, don't you want to feel better?
It's better than Phil Me Cracking.
Yeah, Phil McCracken was my second choice if I was going into plumbing. I was going to be Phil McCracken if I was a plumber. Hey, I got jokes. That's all I have.
It's like your mom knew you're going to be a podcast one day. She's like, he's going to be making people better. But we need him to film with their love. I know, Phil Better. That's what we name him. And you're like, Mom, your last name's Better too. She's like, yeah, I know. Shut the fuck up, Phil.
Did your parents have a daughter named Beatrice that they just called B? Be Better.
No.
That's excellent. Yay.
Hilarious.
Oh,
Phil, I need to so a while ago, and it's still kind of there in the pipeline. We were thinking of starting a spin-off show called the USUK Incinerator, and it was a great idea, a bit like Room 101, a bit like Butchug Island that we used to do back in the Thorskin days, where things get thrown into the incinerator and gone forever. And I threw out would anybody like to do this? And Phil was one of the first people to get in touch a while ago, and we never got around to doing it, but I always remembered Phil was I'm part of the Underdogs podcast group, and he's a great community member. So I remembered that he's always yeah, I can crack on, I can do a podcast. So today I was kind of like, yo, Phil, you want to come on a podcast? And he was like, sure. And that's how easy that was today. So thank you very much for joining us, Phil. Really.
You're very welcome. Well, that was. Yeah, no, I was on I was doing my daily workout because, being an entrepreneur in the podcasting world, I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. So I was just out for my walk, and then Alex sent me a message. I'm like, "Ooh, Alex!" And I, to be honest, I thought it was another Alex that had messaged me because I do have multiple Alexes. So I see the Alex pop up. I'm like, "Oh," and his name is Winter. So it's very close to and then I saw the pictures are somewhat similar, and I'm like, wait, no, different Alex. Oh, this one's even cooler. He wants me to podcast. Yeah, sure, I'll do it right now. I was like, yes, I want a podcast because I haven't been a guest on a podcast, I think, in about a month.
Oh, wow.
So it's been I've been having guests on mine. I have multiple podcasts that I run where I'm just on the show. So it's and so being a guest and just being I can talk about nearly anything, and the hosts have to handle me. I'm free. So I'm what gremlin problems can I cause?
I find it to be, very enlightening and very freeing when you get to do other people's shows, because you're essentially what people are saying is, I like you for you. You don't really bring anything potentially to the table except you. So I want you on the show. It's a nice affirmation, right? It's kind of oh, I'm special. My mom was right. I'm a special boy.
I'm a unique little butterfly flapping its wings.
Oh, but
from a butterfly, that's the butterfly I am. From
the problem with the butterfly is nobody suspects the butterfly. Simpsons fans.
It was a butterfly, I tell you. The butterfly.
I was so incredibly proud of my kids because I put on The Simpsons. My Sunday ritual is I don't know how I got stuck in this time loop, but like I still treat Sunday as if it's a Sunday.
The Lord's Day.
No, I treat Sunday like it's still a Sunday in like the early 2000s, 90s.
When you were a kid.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. When I was a kid, I like nostalgia. Nostalgia fuels me like heroin. So I fucking...
It's a lot healthier as well than heroin.
Wow. I mean, it depends how
it's the
stuck
same
nostalgia.
high, but
Yeah. Yeah. Except nobody looks you in the gutter and be like, "Oh, give me some Star Wars, bro. Come on, right here." No, but I'll watch things like I'll watch an X-Files episode, I'll watch a King of the Hill episode, I'll watch a Malcolm in the Middle episode, and I'll watch a fucking Simpsons episode, usually one or two. And it gives me that Sunday night lineup when Fox was like the greatest fucking channel in the world. And I'll make like a nice family meal. So I had to go do some shit yesterday. I was having some plumbing issues again, and I was freaking the fuck out. So I kind of like left the TV alone. I come back up, kids are still watching Simpsons. I go back and do some more shit. Come back up, they're still watching Simpsons. And it's not because my kids aren't clever enough to like change the channel. Trust me, they can turn it to YouTube.
We don't even like the show.
We're just doing it for you.
It's for Dad. Everyone just can't. He's gonna go crazy. We don't want to be a Dahmer situation.
Just wait till after dinner.
But I've raised them right to the point where they actually really do like The Simpsons, and they're all sitting there laughing, and I feel like they go through the same shit we do. Like they laugh at the surface stuff because it's funny, it's clever, but they don't understand like the real stuff until like you get like older. Like yesterday's example or episode wasn't a great example. It was the episode where Homer and that dude go to the Super Bowl, and they bring everyone to the Super Bowl, and they have fake tickets that are on crackers and all that good shit. And like the funny thing is like during that episode in the very beginning, just like the way that they did the first episode where Lisa and Homer do all that daddy-daughter time together and they start betting on football together. They change. The Simpsons had a really good idea to keep it like current, so they'll change the teams that play in the Super Bowl games that are in the show. So for this episode in particular, when they announce who's going to be playing, they're like, today, I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl with Atlanta Falcons, and they do it like that.
I can't wait to watch my team. Denver Broncos.
Exactly. So they do that, so they can change it every single year, and they still do it. They still changed it to be the most concurrent. And who's that guy? Anyways, he was
Fred Wilford.
David. That's why I
Willard, right? Fred Willard.
Fred Willard. So Fred Willard's like, I hope President Clinton is going to be here with his wife Hillary, and it's like, damn, that's so like brilliant, so much foresight for a fucking silly cartoon from back in the 80s, bitches. It's good.
Well, I was watching so I end up being on, because I have another show, the Feel Better Show, which is a TV and movie review show. I end up dropping down these wormholes of actors' interviews that you've never heard of because they're not on NBC. And they're like European interviews, so they're like a lot more raw and relaxed, and it's like really awesome. And they had Officer O'Brien from Star Trek. I can't remember the actor's name. He was in like Con Air. He's just like a badass Irishman, and he was saying like, sometimes like they asked like, how did you get all the names right of all these scientific stuff? He's like, you fucking nuts. I fucking turned around so my face wasn't facing so I could dub it in afterwards. Every time he's like, the Hogan. He messes up on purpose, but because no one sees his mouth, they go into the dubbing and he does it afterwards, and he can do like 1,000 takes to get it right.
It's Calm Meany is who it is.
Meany, yeah.
And that's not because I'm brilliant. I had to look that up really quick. I was like, oh yeah, he is in a whole bunch of shit. I like him in that movie though because he has that fucking Corvette thing where he's like, that looks like my car. That's my car. Fucking, yeah, damn. I hate that version of the Corvette, by the way. Like, of all the beautiful American cars, he picked that version of the Corvette. That thing's ugly.
Because everybody hates it, and they really wanted to prove that this guy's a dick. So how do you do that? You give him a car that only an asshole would love.
The only Corvette that's worse than that is that 80s Corvette they put out for a while. I hate that fucking car so much. And every single douchebag in the world is like, I want a Corvette. Oh, I can afford an 80s Corvette. And it looks like
it's
shit.
Like the 90s Mustang 5.0.
Yeah, I actually like that a tiny bit more than I like that, just because.
Does that look like the Mustang but in italic?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
But the thing is though, is those things are fast as fuck, and that's like the first car that I ever went where the front end lifted off the ground for a couple seconds.
The early 2000 Mustang as well, when they kind of redesigned it and it looked like your mother's like. Your mother was like, "We're not having any of the fun stuff. We're gonna put bubbles on everything," and they just like kind of bubbleize it. And it's like, why does every redneck have this?
Oh, because they can
look at this, right? Look at this comment, Shane. Ah ha ha! I love that Al is completely clueless at this point. I knew what they were talking about. I said a Mustang, but in italic because it's all weird. Right? Fuck you, Shane.
To be totally fair, you added more to the conversation than I did, so I don't know what Shane's talking about. But like, I think the car that's done the best revival, in my personal opinion, you guys can maybe tell me what you think. Is everyone seen the new Corvette Stingray? Does everyone know what I'm talking about when I say this, Alex? I don't know if you know what that looks like by chance. If you want to, you can pull it up. It's a beautiful car. But back in the 70s, they had the Corvette Stingray, and it's I hate that car. It's ugly. It's not very good looking Corvette at all. So they redid it 2 years ago, and they went from being one of the most hideous cars to being one of the most beautiful cars in the fucking world. The new Stingray is just this gorgeous piece of American muscle that's just unreal. It's so curvy and nice. But enough with the horsepower hour starring Andy Emoff. Let's fucking
right. Andy's like getting his rocks off right now.
He's like,
shall we get into some of the comments first? Because I know there's people like, they're not talking to me. Let's go to George Lugo says, hello, boyos. How's it going, George? Yay. Ryan chipping in for earlier saying a female proctologist named Wilma Fingerdo. Wilma Fingerdo. Okay. Carolina Whiteley, my wife, says, I love Phil's accent. All right, you calm down, yeah? Calm down. Right.
I like your accent too, Phil. I just want to say that.
Shane says, sup, fuckers. Adam Miller Chip says, good evening, everyone. Hello, Adam. How's it going?
Thank you. Adam actually is a follower of mine. He runs this amazing podcast for his school. He's a teacher at a school for autistic children, and it's called the TWS Sports Podcast, and he has like sports celebrities on it, and it's friggin' insane. He just started. I'm helping him out with anytime I can with his questions and all that, but his podcast is just so amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And like you reach out to the sports celebs, you're like, hey, do you want to be on this podcast? And most of the celebs, because I run multiple podcasts, are like, no, I'm too busy. But then you throw it's for children, they're like, oh, and then you throw it's for autistic children, and they're like, really? If I say no, I'm an asshole. Like, what the hell? Like, you just painted them right into a box, and they're like, yeah, I can give you like 15, 20 minutes.
It never ceases to amaze me that like me and Alex have this conversation all the time. We'll run into a guest that says yes. They come on the show. We have this amazing interview, and we're like, I can't believe that person said yes. And I haven't figured it out yet. I think it's people just intrinsically want to talk to one another, or they just want to give everything a shot, right? Like they don't want to be the guys that say no and then lose out on a good time. So we've just found that for the most part, almost everybody says yes. And do you find that to be the case as well, Phil? Like, do you run into like that person came on?
Yeah, so. One of the ones that blew my mind, I started Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast in November of 2020 because I wanted to learn how to be an entrepreneur because no one teaches you that shit, right? So the best way, and from podcasting for 6 years at this point, I learned that networking, is super easy through podcasting, and you create like hundreds of really weird connections that you never thought you would have when you're like 18 years old. I've always wanted to be like the guy, like, hold on, I'm going to call Phil. He knows a guy, and like be that.
Oh, you call him the wolf? Shit.
Let me call the Canadian.
That's all you had to say.
You need that? Yeah, let me call the Canadian. He knows a guy, like I always wanted to be like the Ray Liotta, the Ray Donovan type character.
Yeah.
Like you can trust and get him on, right? And we're just taking photos of. I love it. And so, and I noticed that, so I started interviewing a lot of entrepreneurs in my my network by going into entrepreneur Facebook groups, right? I mean, like, hey, does anybody? And I got a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, in the starting, and one of them, and like they all were like yes, and because one thing I learned from entrepreneurs is like they never turn down an opportunity because anything can turn into gold. Because they don't know who's listening to my podcast. Like one time they come on, it could be their ideal client, and boom, they sign that next $1 million client. You know, we never know, and you never know when a podcast is going to take off. Like next week, because of this, I can somehow get on to like BBC One, you know, or like end up on CNN or something as a specialist for podcasting. I don't know who's listening to your podcast. Like someone reached out to me a little earlier. Actually, two of my clients tagged me in the exact same post in one of the podcast support groups about a husband looking for a podcasting expert for his wife's article for a major publication. And I was like, first of all, thanks to both of them. Like, yes, thank you very much for tagging me. Yeah, sure, I would love to help. Unfortunately, because I'm Canadian, they're like, we need in the US. But because I already knew, yeah. Well, I didn't know Tom at the time.
I know. Alex, why didn't you think ahead and know that Phil was going through a struggle and be the guy for him, Alex? It's because you want
really
me to
sorry.
fail.
Because I'm not Professor fucking Xavier. That's why. And anyway.
At this point, but yeah. So
they don't have the BBC in Canada. They have the BBC A.
Yeah.
BBC A.
I like it. I got
it. Bad joke. Bad joke.
And George says I'm looking sexy. Thanks, George.
Why Alex? Why always Alex? Everyone comments about Alex. Why not Tom?
British.
Isn't Tom sexy today with my
By the way,
mustache?
there's your car, by the way, Tom.
Oh, wow.
There's your car. I found it.
Whoa.
That's a new
Hello. Fucking car,
Chevrolet
dude.
Corvette.
Does anyone have $100,000 they want to loan me really, really fast? I promise I'm good for it. I'll give you back like $5 a month. It's so,
and George throws a bit of shade your way as well. He says, "The fuck you don't like the classic Stingray? How dare you? How dare you?"
My mother-in-law owns one and it's hideous. I hate that.
That's why you don't like it. It's because your mother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like your
mother-in-law.
Alex, I know you're already doing stuff, but you want to bring up a picture of the classic one really quick? When you get a second, I'll continue the conversation. I just want people to see because like George is defending this hideous.
My dream car.
Ooh, what's your dream car?
1957 Cadillac DeVille.
Ooh.
Cherry red with white interior with the whitewashed wheels. Delicious. I saw one episode of Cadillac and Dinosaurs and it was done. Like I had fallen in love with the car and it was like, I'm done, never again. And this is a show that either people know exists or I've never heard of it. And by Dave's response,
look at that thing.
It looks like a penis.
That's hideous. Exactly. It looks like an unshaved, unkempt
penis.
It's
Jeff Bezos' rocket, but in a car form. That's what it is.
I like it. I like the rear end on it. Look at the fucking
British.
The real arch on that. It's awesome.
I feel that it has a very British feel to it. Whereas it doesn't look American.
Very, very.
And the problem with that is
nothing. I love
a lot. So
well,
much.
I'm Irish, so I kind of have to say I hate.
Oh no, it's too sophisticated and good looking. We're not going to drive it anymore.
No. I have a nicer accent. I'm the one with the comment about my sexy accent. So there.
It's true. It's true.
Shane says he used to own a 1974 Morris Marina, which I was fixing up. If you've ever played Forza, when you find the cars that are in the shed with the dust and the dust covers over it, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's a 911 Carrera here!" Like, and then you can do those cars up. That's what Shane's car looked like. I remember him showing me pictures. I was like, "The fuck?" He got his car and he's kind of like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this thing up."
I've always wanted like a 1950, I think it's 54, 56. David, you might know. I've always wanted a 1956 Plymouth Fury, which is the same car they used in Christine. And it's not fast, but it's so beautiful for being such a big bitch.
The 50s have, I think, the best decade of cars for classic, like muscly cars.
They are nice.
The 50s have like just aesthetically looking. They're big, beautiful boats of cars usually. Because we're in this abundant mentality, like everybody had money to spend, so gas was like cheap. So like, it's
gas was like 10 cents a gallon.
$50,000. Who cares? Let's do the boat of a car.
I always wanted one of the classic cars I love is the Ford Capri. It was like no. Americans had Mustangs, and they were like, "Oh, we need a car that looks like a Mustang," so they created the Ford Capri. Look at this car.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's European. It's made for Europeans. It's got that because you guys you don't need that. You don't have that because America and Canada, we're vast, we're huge. Like 90% of our population lives like within 10% of our actual land.
We got like big dick energy in these
countries.
So.
Like, look, we both Canada and the U.S. have a dick in their geography. If you look at like, you got the Gaspe, looks like a dick, and you got Florida looks a hanging old man dick.
Yeah, Florida is just a shit state. So
Shane says he's so wanted to fall Capri.
Like Europe is so small, you guys can't handle like a frigging Cadillac Escalade.
Well, I drive. I have I drive a C4 Grand Picasso. It's a spaceship. I can handle a big fucking vehicle very slowly.
Like, what the hell kind of name is that?
A classy ass fucking name. I'll tell you that much for free. Well, the thing is, it's like our cars are made for our very everyone's got to remember something really quick before we continue shitting on Alex and his homeland. It's that the cars that
it's French. You can shit on it. It's fine.
Well, the cars that are made for where you guys live are much smaller in stature because you guys live on roads that were built fucking 900 years ago or something like that. So you got to make cars that can actually handle that. All of our cars are like all of our infrastructure was built back in the 40s and the 50s when they had these gigantic fucking cars. So we got
straight lines, baby.
All of our infrastructure was built on sacred and Native American grounds, but whatever.
Wow.
Politically, yes, you're correct.
Speaking of cars, I want to just move to Cuba and just hang out there and fucking get those cars and be like, yep, smoking cigars.
I've been to Cuba. It's gorgeous. It was amazing. I was on a resort.
Did you bring back any cigars?
No, because I was broke. I was broke, man. I only started making money this year from my business. I was a broke ass man.
How'd you go to Cuba?
How did I go to Cuba? Credit.
Yeah, my man. That's right. That's how you go on vacation.
And I did dearly pay later, let me tell you.
Ryan Berger says, I've recently acquired a 67 Sunbeam Alpine. I'm going to fix it up eventually. And he dropped a fucking can of Arnold Palmer or whatever it's called. That shitty fucking, what's it called? The iced tea stuff on top of a British car. And I was like, get it off. Shane says, the roads in America were carved out by horseback by the natives.
Yeah, totally, Shane. That's exactly what happened.
The natives, right.
The natives. The indigenous folk. I don't know.
Right.
Enough about cars. Yeah, exactly.
Shall we, okay, whenever a guest comes on our show, which, well, not whenever, but now and again, I like to bring out the gauntlet.
Is there like a sound effect, like a... You should make
you'll see.
Oh, you'll see.
Here we go. Here is the gauntlet.
Welcome to the gauntlet.
It's not actually that bad. Okay, so I bought this voice changer thing online, and I've been fucking about with it. Yeah, man.
Tell.
Oh, I love it. It's so cheesy. It feels like a 90s, cheesy, Saturday morning game show for kids.
It's like you're like Claw from Inspector Gadget is what he's saying. He's like, I'll get you, Gadget.
This is my actual natural voice. So this is how I actually sound. No sound effects. This is my actual voice. So you're using a tool. This is actually me speaking properly. Or I can go back to my normal voice.
Oh, you sound like Kevin Dave,
Fuck you with your voice changer. Get away from that, Whiteley. Okay, so the Gauntlet is a fun game. It's tradition, I hear, on USUK. And it's a game just to test your wits behind a microphone, Phil. And we have 3 rounds. And we have the inanimate object round, we have the speed round, and the what the fuck is that round? Hey. We got David there with a stopwatch.
Made in Russia.
Made in Russia.
Where is it?
The USSR stamp. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the first round, Phil, I'm going to give you an inanimate object to talk about for a full minute. You can't stop. Keep talking about this object. You tell people what it is. You tell stories about it, but you can't stop. Okay? So this is your inanimate object to talk about for a whole minute.
He's got 1 minute.
Once he starts talking.
David will start the clock as soon as you start talking, Phil. You ready? Yeah?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Monster Energy, the one drink that every gamer and podcaster needs to have. Without Monster Energy drink, you will not be able to continue to podcast efficiently and effectively because Monster Energy gives you the energy to take it to the next level. Be extreme, like all the other crazy fans in the world that actually listen to that actually drink Monster Energy. It is the premium drink for you when you are down in the dumps, because Monster Energy will bring out the monster inside of you and make you the number one in your industry. Like our motocross and extreme sports stars, they drink Monster Energy drink, and so should you. How many minutes do I have left? Because this is an amazing. I should have looked. There's 20 seconds left. We're going because Monster Energy drink just keeps you going for 100 minutes. I can do this all day, every day, 48 hours, all the time.
And time. Dude, that was
I
fucking
tried to
funny.
do it without breathing, and I was like, no, this is not working.
It was turning into a commercial for Monster. I was like, this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I know. Monster owes you money, Phil. Monster Energy, if you're going through a divorce, if you are fighting with your significant other, if you need to fuel your car, if you
I'm
need
just
to
like,
fuel your
what
rocket
can I
ship.
just add before Monster Energy drink?
Yeah, do you
That's
want
all
to
it
punch
is.
holes in the
Keep
walls? The Monster Energy drink is a drink for you.
If your name's Kyle, this is your
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah, fucking
Makes you piss like fucking. Honestly, right when I first started working nights, I was like, Monster. I'll have another Monster. Red Bull. We'll mix it up a little bit. And by the end of the night, you're like, piss, 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 piss.
then
It's
it's
like
just
it's,
burning.
it's an antifreeze. It's just like a weird greenish color. You're like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Right. Okay. The next round, David's going to get a stopwatch. You've got 2 minutes to answer as many questions as possible, as quick as you can. Okay. It works best if you go as quick as you can. Okay. And so here we go. I'm going to share the screen. You'll see they're just random questions. Share screen and bam and bam. So here we go. Question
Pepsi.
43 is going to be Pepsi or Coke? Pepsi, right? 25. Oh, shit. I'm not very good at this stuff, by the way.
It's all good.
25. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, or PC?
PlayStation.
Yeah, me and Phil, bro. We're friends.
Favorite stand comic?
Gabriel Iglesias.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Nice.
First concert, Backstreet Boys back in '96.
Oh, shit, Phil.
Yeah, I'm going old
My
school.
wife is going to love you now. She's going, oh, me too, me too. 48. One interesting fact about you.
I spent 2 weeks up in Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, teaching kids science, math science,
Ooh.
and launching over
Science,
100
huh?
rockets at the same time.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. 21. What's your dream car?
I said it earlier, 1959 Cadillac DeVille.
Nice. One guilty music pleasure.
Taylor Swift.
37. Best chocolate bar ever.
Oh, fuck. Mr. Big.
The fuck? An advert? What the fuck? You can't play an advert on a fucking
Where's that
random.
song
What the
coming
fuck?
from?
I know, yeah, crazy, right? And the 14. Jeez, that's not my fault, guys. That's not my fault. What's your
It is.
poison? What do you like to drink?
Jameson whiskey. Neat.
Whiskey. One guilty pleasure.
I love manicures and pedicures.
Nice.
Best sitcom ever.
Fuck. Firefly. Would
Nice.
that be considered a sitcom?
Sure.
Yeah, fuck it. We make up the rules. Your favorite scary? What's your favorite scary movie?
Exorcist. It's the one I hate the most, but it's my favorite because it scares me the most.
Nice. Your favorite feature? Your best feature?
My smile.
Nice. Fuck.
$10,000. It better be fucking worth it.
What did you want to be as a kid?
Lawyer.
A lawyer. Okay. I'm really sorry about the advert break there for that fucking stupid app. I need a new stupid
Girls just want to have fun.
app. Oh, girls.
Just wanna have fun.
Dude, we could do this. We could do like a quartet on
How-
podcasting.
Yeah, man. All
Yeah,
day,
we could.
every day.
One day.
Just getting that
Karaoke
sexy
with
back on.
USUK Live.
Hey, girls, just want to have fun. Girls.
Yes, girls just want to have fun. Then I
radio
smacked
man
them
up
in the
top.
mouth.
You stole my joke, you fuck. God damn you. Good man, Alex. Good man.
I saw Sean Connery behind you. I thought, I've got it.
I like to smock a woman. I use my ruler because it's illegal in my country. Would you like
That
some
was the
schlock?
worst Sean Connery. Blah, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
he's dead, so prove it.
My name's Bond, James Bond. How should I like your martini? Okay, right. Next one is what the fuck is that round, David? We need a book.
Brando today.
Brando. Okay, are we learning about Marlon Brando?
Yeah, this is actually his autobiography. Songs my mother taught me.
Nice.
Oh,
Look at me already knowing that shit before you even open the book. That's how good I am.
He does. He's very well-read. He's the most well-read person we have on this network. I'm just saying, flat out.
Amazing. So you got 2 minutes. You need to describe the pictures without telling David what they are. He cannot see them. So you get the rules. You got 10
So
pictures,
I see
2 minutes.
pictures, and I have to tell him, and he has to guess what it is.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Well, I will start the timer on your
Wait, you gonna
first
start the
word.
timer?
I can do the timer if you like,
Okay.
unless you want to. Oh, well, I don't mind.
Oh, fine.
Okay, so here's your first picture.
You do it.
And as soon as you start talking,
Is there any person pinching? I don't. I have. It's a movie. It has two characters who have sub-level intelligence.
Dumb and Dumber.
There you go.
yes. Well done.
It is from the east, land of the rising sun. It's a cute thing. It in French,
Godzilla?
it's cute. It's cute. Much smaller than Godzilla. In French, it's Bonjour Chat. I don't know.
Hello Kitty?
There you go.
Yes. Well done. Well, nice.
Tiger Blood.
So say that again?
Tiger Blood. Winning. Hashtag winning.
Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Nice. Good.
Could have said drugs.
Yeah, I know. During a certain period, they kind of invaded their neighbors uninvited.
What, Germany, World War II? I don't.
Germany. You got it
Yeah.
right.
That was a really good one.
There are three small creatures that have high-pitched voices, and they make fun of songs. They
Chickmunks.
There you go.
Alvin and the Chickmunks.
There
Sorry.
you go. The American side of this beautiful natural icon versus the Canadian side is kind of sad. The Canadian side is well known, and people have gone over barrels in it because they want to be badass.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It was in Superman 2, and Clark revealed that he was Superman to Lois. Where were they?
Fuck, dude. The Solitude, fucking.
You know, it's a horseshoe-looking thing. There's lots of. It's right on the U.S.-Canadian border.
Wait,
It's all...
St. Louis, fucking.
No, not St. Louis. You're more in
Fuck, I don't
Ontario.
know, dude. Oh wait, Niagara Falls.
Pass.
There you go.
Hey, you got it. Niagara Falls. We've run out of time. Okay, so come back, David.
Nice.
Come
Did you
back,
not see Superman 2?
Not since I was a
There's-
kid, bro.
There's Niagara Falls. Okay, so we had. You did well. We only
I
had
was like,
three
why are you
left.
breaking my back like Christopher Reeves, bro?
The last ones were Grand Theft Auto, Optimus Prime, and
Sherlock
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 Holmes.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Not bad. I'm pretty proud. I got how many were there? Were there 10? So I got 7.
There was
out of
10. There was the last one as well was Back to the Future, so I was a bit further down. So yeah, we had 4 left. So you did 6. You did 6.
Six.
Well done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
well done.
bad. Not bad.
It was the Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls fucked me over again. Well, I have some funny stories about Niagara Falls as well. And
Should've
fuck
told
you,
me
but
that.
that's another time.
So the thing I found about Niagara Falls is it smells like piss on the American side, which I wasn't too impressed by. I was like, ugh.
Hey, like Paris.
Ah!
I can say that because I'm French.
Yes, true. All right.
Yeah. So Phil, tell us more about the 2 shows that you do. You got the Phil the Phil Better show.
So I have my first show that I started like 4 to 5 years ago. It's called The Phil Better Show. It's a narcissistic young kid, obviously, like most people in their 20s. And it's just me and my buddy. It started off with me and my buddy, DJ Overflow MTL, an amazing Montreal DJ, just reviewing movies and trailer breakdowns and different stuff like that. More recently, because he's been getting more busy with DJ gigs on Saturdays when we record, he had to step away. But my other buddy from Britain, Aaron Talks Film, an amazing pop culture YouTuber podcaster, stepped in as my co-host. So he's taking on the role of Al, and we review movies every week, every Saturday. We're doing the Matrix trilogy this Saturday again because we had a discussion 2 weeks ago about it. I'm like, I need to watch this because for some reason, it's just like it feels really weird right now, like something's going on. So why not
Like
watch
you're in a simulation.
Yeah, why not watch this nihilistic 90s movie that like just is the the utmost of Generation X's like dislike for the system. That's how I've watched The Matrix, and that's how I understand it now. But yeah, so I have that. I have Investing Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast, which I started in November, which is an award-winning podcast. Thank you very much. Yes, there I go. I won the Snobby Award for Best Business Podcast, and I have to say the other podcasts in the awards in the category were like far, like I was like, they're way better than mine. Like they're awesome. I won. I was like, oh my god.
Where's all the cocaine strippers? Come on,
I'm going to the MAs. That one I started originally to learn how to be an entrepreneur because I wanted to quit my day job because I had a burnout in 2020, and 2020 was a fucked up year for everybody involved. So I started that podcast to learn, turned it into me actually starting my own side hustle, growing that. Just signed a new client actually today for that, so I'm really happy with that. That's awesome.
Nice.
And so you hear me learning, me starting, and me developing my business and different different parts of different businesses that I've started because of talking to these entrepreneurs. And most of my clients, funny enough, come from my podcast. Nearly 90% of my clients that I have are all former guests who want to start a podcast or need help with their podcast, because I don't only create podcasts for people, I also coach and help you level up your podcast, because this is all I do. I study podcasts, I help grow. My first client has the #1 financial podcast in the how-to category in Australia on the Apple Podcast charts. My most recent client is an entrepreneur in Macedonia, and his podcast, which he's trying to show his become a thought leader and show his knowledge in high-ticket lead generation. His podcast just launched like last week, and he's already #1 in the how-to category for Macedonia, which is like insane. Like it's only been out a week and it's already up there. Like it's insane. So like those are just some of the wins I've gotten. Help people get their podcast monetized through sponsorship. Just recently, someone I'm putting actually in a podcasting mastermind event on the 4th of September. She just got her like ideal. She loves cigars. She loves smoking cigars on her podcast. Right? She just landed talks with this amazing, like her favorite, I guess, Cohiba maker or, company that sells them. Oh. I have no idea. Like it's something with cigars. So it's either a retailer or it's an actual company that makes cigars. I don't know what it is. Right. But she's gotten they've opened talks about sponsoring her podcast, which is friggin' awesome. Either it's like, here, have some free, cigars, or here's some money for you to have to sponsor like a couple episodes. Like it's whatever you can when you first start off. Like getting free merch as a podcaster is still awesome, right? Like
yeah, it is.
I've gotten one of my guests sent me a bottle of wine from Napa. I have a couple of them sending their books to me. So I can read it, and it's like amazing how like I'm like, oh my god. And now I'm barely recruiting guests. Guests are coming to me. I'm getting PR people sending me requests to be guests on, have their clients as guests on my show, and it's like I'm booked for the rest of the year. Like for guests, like I just finished season 4, rolling out season 3 of my podcast. Season 4 is just finished recording, so I'm starting post on that, which is so much fun. I hate that to post podcasting. Like I love doing the podcast, everything before the podcast, before the end of the podcast. I love the minute it ends. It's like, oh, now it's the drudgery.
I like my favorite thing about podcasting is obviously the interviewing part. I mean, like obviously like the connection that me and Alex made and me and David made, I love all that because it's some of the greatest stuff ever. I've made so many great friends, and I met people from all around the world. I made all these great connections, and that's like probably one of the favorite things. But it's really like the amount of people that you get to talk to and learn like the intricate details in their life, and like, you know, the long form conversation that is the interview, it really opens you up for more, you know, details about stuff that most people probably wouldn't say in any given interview. I've always enjoyed that aspect of it. Is that one of the things that you kind of dig learning a little bit more about people themselves?
So I was actually thinking, like, I was on my way back from the gym to my apartment to get ready for this, and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, how many podcasts have I produced, like, in my life? Because those are interviews that I've done. Because on Invest in Myself, I'm at about 100 interviews already. So there's 100 episodes of entrepreneurs' knowledge that I've acquired in less than a year. If you think about it, like, some of these people charge like thousands of dollars for their time. I'm getting like 45 minutes to an hour worth of their time to pick their brain about stuff that I may be having issues with, or I know some of my listeners are having issues with. Because I got that interaction with my guests. They email me, they say, hey, I listened to the interview, let's say with my buddy Lloyd Ross, who's this amazing podcaster. Like, I produce his podcast, so yes, I'm biased. But he helped me write my first book, because he wrote a book on how he planted what he calls money trees. He uses his side hustle investing to plant trees so that you can grow passive wealth and you can retire. He's like only a few years older than me, and he has $1 million portfolio.
Jesus.
Yeah, $1 million portfolio. None of this like BS about like putting it in Dogecoin or GameStop or AMC. Like, this is like valued stocks. Like, this is like actual like built over time wealth. And then he has his side hustle business that he started with his wife, a networking company. And then he has his teaching investing, because he's like, this is how the fundamentals of investing. He teaches the fundamentals of that so you can grow your portfolio over time. And so by the time you're 60, you have a $1.3 million portfolio that's generating you income that you can live off of, passive income that you can live off of. And then he also has how to start a side hustle course that he does. And, you know, we had a meeting a few weeks ago just talking about the overall business, right? Because how podcasting fits into his branding and all that, I have to be aware of. And he let me know that he's already made over six figures just this year. Man.
Fucking, and what am I doing working my balls off every single day?
Here's the thing.
Raising children. What's up with this? This is crazy.
Here's the thing. All of us are in our, like, I would say all of us are under 45 years of age.
Yeah.
We're probably 30 to 45 years of age. We've all done some incredible fucking shit in our life.
I'd agree with that.
We've all done either some really extremely stupid shit, or we've mastered ourselves in a certain topic. Like, I've learned podcasting over 6 years, but also from being in the financial world, I've understand the world of business and understand how they think. So I'm able to bring that knowledge over to the hobbyists who have no idea how business thinks. Yeah. No creative knows how business thinks. So like a podcaster goes to a business. So my podcast is about this, and it's really cool, and it's a lot of fun, and we have these really interesting guests. A business is like, I could care less. Like that doesn't give me ROI. Like, if I give you $50, do I get like 50% happier? Like, I don't care about happier. I care about $50 leaving my business that I'm investing. So if you can go to a business person and go, look, this is what my ROI. I have 1,000 downloads an episode. Engagement is at 50% for every post I do on my social media. So if you give me $50, you have a potential of getting like at least 50% engagement on the posts, and, you know, maybe an extra like 1% of 1,000. That's still like, you know, 10 people, 10 extra dollars. If they spend $50, boom, 2 sales, I made my money back. You know, you have to think of the business owner. What is my ROI? So like, podcasters don't know this, and most businesses will be fun. Like, you can go, look, we don't even have to start with money. You can give, if you're running a discount already, how about we just make it, you know, add that same discount to another discount of 15%. Instead of it's, you know, May's sale, it's, you know, the USUK connection sale, you know, or whatever. And so you give the podcaster has this sponsorship, you know, and they're like, yeah, I got you guys 15% off. Click the link, put in this code, and then the business can actually see how many like people come over. It's like verifiable. You're like, this link generated an additional, you know, $20,000 or $10,000 or whatever. So then it's like, okay, I can now Okay, we had 50 people. They spent 10,000. Cut it down so each person was worth X amount of dollars to us. So in essence, that is like every episode is X amount of dollars, or the percentage of that. And so now you're not thinking like a podcaster. You have to think like a business owner to get that stuff, and think just.
It's hard though. It's hard to like when it becomes a business and it becomes like hard work. Like we're planning an event in September called Pod Aid, right? And this is the idea of this is to be able to speak to podcasters from around the world. We're going to come back bigger and stronger next year because this is our first year. Look at what we've done with microphones and a camera, maybe, right? We are raising money for a local charity here in Shrewsbury in the UK, across the USUK and the Shrewsbury Biscuit Network, my other network. And the idea is to challenge people that run their own content creation, whether it's YouTube, whether it's OnlyFans, Facebook, whatever the fuck you do, right? If it's something you're doing, right, rather than being going, like you just said, oh, look at me, I've got a podcast. Look how amazing! Look how amazing that the light look makes my eyes look. You know, or not, instead of all this shit, right? Affect your community positively, right? So we're launching Pod Aid. I'll show you the thing. It's here. It starts on the 29th of September, and we're going to be doing a 24-hour long podcast. Next year, we'll challenge people to do more, right? Because
I love that. I'm actually doing a charity event on Friday for another network that I'm good friends with. The Scene Snob Network, who run the Snobby Award, which I'm the inaugural business podcast, so I'm number one.
I thought you said Scene Snob, and I was like, ooh.
Inaugural. Look at me busting out the big words. But yeah, no, I love seeing podcasters are like our generation, our millennials, the hated generation is actually affecting more change than any other generation, because we can go, hey, we can start a charity which affects this. Like I was watching some influencer, Joe Sanagato, out of New York. He's this hilarious guy who started with like people of Instagram or of Walmart YouTube videos, and now he has this multiple podcasts, got his friends monetized as well, making money, and he's just hustles. He's a great guy and creator. He created or teamed up with a charity to raise money to get wells built in African countries that need it. I'm not sure which African nation or on the continent, over there, but he's done like 3 so far, and it's like, yes, because it's only started. Like he does 3 now. People hear about it, like I'm talking about, people are going to go check him out, I'm going to buy his merch, which leads to, money going to the charity, which leads to, another well being built. Like it just gets slowly, it's going to build. Like you guys are going to have an episode that's going to pop off and hit 10,000. Of those 10,000 downloads, someone's going to jump back and listen to this episode, hear Joe Sanagato, go buy his merch, and it just creates this continual cycle of goodwill. And it's just us using the powers. We're making our own charities because we're fed up of seeing the bullshit charities that the rich so eloquently, oh yes, I'm giving my money away when I die. That's great, but the world will be fucked.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, Jeff Bezos, like we can tax the rich. Like I don't want to get too political in tax, but tax them 5% and like wipe out pretty much all the problems of the world, and they still will be billionaires. And their net worth won't be hurt. But you take 5% off like a middle income family, that's like, oh, Johnny's not going to get braces and he's going to have fucked up teeth for the rest of his life, like. Anyway.
I think that I agree with you, like, especially with us being the generation that we are, like nobody expects very much from anything of us to do, but we tend to surprise people in the most enlightening ways. We're like, oh, well, you think that we could only do this, or we think we're only about this, and we're self-centered, whatever it is. But most of us are so focused on making the world around us better that it kind of plays in our favor. It's like, oh shit, they did that. Oh shit, they did that fucking too. It's kind of good to live in that sort of light where people don't really know. Yeah, exactly. Being underestimated is one of the greatest things in the world in some aspects. Sometimes it does, not the greatest things for us, but fucking, I don't know.
When you step up, like when you're underestimated, like when someone says, oh, you guys can't do this, and you're like, are you fucking really? And then it just grinds your gears until you go and do it, and you prove them wrong. Or you fall into the other category of people who go, you're right, I can't. and just walk away. I was that person for a while. Like, what's really funny is I'm seeing posts from when I was like in my 20s and optimistic, and before life actually, like, you run full on, like at 25 you hit life, your free trial ends of life, and you start real life.
Yes.
And you start realizing, like, oh shit, things are expensive. Mommy and daddy aren't going to save my ass. And so I'm seeing those posts from like over 10 years ago, and how optimistic I was, and how like gung ho. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I want to go back to feeling like that.
Yeah.
I want to feel happy and like helping people out and stop thinking about myself, because I had 10 years of thinking about myself, and that shit was not fun. It was horrible. You know, I ended up burning out because of it. So fuck that. So,
we're running close to it. I want to ask one thing though. What, since you have the experience in it, what in your opinion, what is the thing that up and coming podcasters run into, like the biggest problem they run into when they're trying to get monetized? What's something that
before you answer, David says David just got Ryan said David just got Johnny Depp hard when he heard Tax the Rich.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp's only worth like a couple $100 million.
No, what he's saying is that, like, because Johnny Depp makes you hard, and that's the thing that makes you the hardest. When someone says tax the rich, which we all know that you're very much the Robin Hood in this ordeal.
Very invested in it.
This is what he's trying to say. You're a socialist.
We can literally just tax 3 people 5%, and everything will be fine, dude. Like, fucking poverty will be done. Like, we could actually make fucking education and healthcare free.
Hey, don't be saying good things, David. We can't do that.
I want to see America do better.
Bezos needs to go to space, David. Have some fucking...
Fuck that guy. I want to see him be ripped apart.
Rocket.
Dick Rocket. I love it.
Dick Rocket.
But yeah, so the number one mistake podcasters usually, like starting out podcasters usually make, they think they have to have everything right away.
Yeah.
They try and do everything right away. They're like, I need to grow my Instagram right away, my Twitter, my Facebook group. I need 1,000 downloads by next week. I need to do this. I need to reach out to these people. I need to monetize. No, sit down and figure out first, why are you podcasting? What is your why? Are you trying to... Podcasting is either entertainment or education. That's all it is. Are you trying to entertain people? And some celebrity podcasts are just pure entertainment. Joe Rogan goes between entertainment and education in the same episode. Or you if you're a business, most likely you're educating your clients or your potential clients on knowledge in your industry and show why you're so important. I've seen people make a limited series of like 5 episodes just explaining different parts of their industry. So, you know, like if it's the lead generating, it's like how we use SEO, how we use influencers, how we do this and how we do that. And it's like 20 minutes each episode, but he has a client who comes in, he's like, I'm interested about SEO. He's like, I got a 20-minute episode or audio, like podcast that you can listen to, scan right here, boom, it's off. And he doesn't really care because it's all he's using it is as an authority builder, because Google indexes it. Google index the audio, and then when someone searches it, as long as you're on Google Podcasts, you're going to pop up near the top because at one point it's going to say podcast. People are going to click it because that's how we're going to listen. That's our new radio. AM and FM radio and satellite radio are done. It's now streaming. And so having a podcast means you have a 24-hour radio station going. Right. So if you just have 5 episodes explaining your product and you paid like $2,500 to get it professionally done, boom, it's there on your website for the rest of time. It's in Apple, it's in Google, it's in Spotify, it's in there. People searching, like people use podcasting for so many different reasons, like authority building where you do weekly episodes like you guys probably do and I do. You have, an educational where it's a limited series and you don't really care about the rating. It's just because you wanted to get this piece of content out there so that people can listen to it eventually for whatever reason. Or if you just want to let your thoughts out there and you're not good with the written word, but you're amazing with your voice and talking, you can create your an online blog, but it's audio version. And then if you want, you can transcribe it and then boom, you have your blog. So like the way of podcasting is just take your time, find out your why, and then just slowly build. Like, yeah, you can have go get the Instagram account, go get the Facebook account, go get the Twitter account, lock those down for your podcast and put a link back to your podcast. But you don't fucking have to grow them right away. Grow them when you're comfortable. Like, get used to, because the back end of a podcast is heavy. like recording the episode, editing the episode, getting it mastered, making sure it's clean, getting the copyright for
Getting it what? Sorry, did you say
mastered?
Mastered.
Yeah, it's a mastered, like masturbate, but not.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm going down that road.
I'm
No
master
problem.
all the time. I'm master right now. I've been
Yeah,
mastering this whole
mastering
time, motherfucker.
But yeah, so like, there's so much behind the scenes that if you start concentrating on creating the rest of the content that goes to social media and that, you'll be like overwhelmed, burn out, and you'll be like, that's why most podcasts don't even make it past 10 episodes.
Well, we've seen it during COVID. There's so many. Sorry, Tom.
No. I was agreeing exactly what you're saying. You say things.
COVID, we had an influx of people, especially with Anchor, start their own podcast. Now they're all gone. I mean, go on Facebook now. There's Rodecaster Pros, there's Shure mics, there's Rode microphones, all for sale. It's a great time if you want to buy a bargain because so many people have bought so much podcast shit. I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 5 years. And it's only just starting to pay off now. The Shoes with Biscuit, we have a podcast. We're finally getting to the point where we can ask for funding, sponsorships. We're going to be getting our own studio again at some point. It's one of those things. And USUK is a baby still. Relatively, it's still a baby. It's only a year and 2 months or something. Yeah, we started in April last year, so we're still very, very young, and already we're speaking to some of the biggest celebrities in the world. I mean, just today we released our episode with Jeffrey Wiseman from Back to the Future. And next week we're releasing our podcast with Carol Baskin. That's another good one.
I was like, I didn't watch Tiger King because I was like, I can't. Like during COVID, I was like, I don't know if I can survive if I drop to the level of Tiger King. Like I was watching like Love Is Blind and some of the like Love Island and some of the other stuff there, like the Netflix one where you can't have sex.
Where the fuck that was?
Yeah, like
Abstinence Island.
Yeah, Abstinence Island or whatever you want to call it.
Purity Island. It's a ring.
Yeah,
it's called marriage. It's called marriage, guys. I mean, it's not hard.
None of us are married, so I just got out of a 7-year relationship, so I kind of understand what marriage is near the end. But she was a lovely girl, love her to death still. But yeah, I'm not looking forward if that's marriage. I'll stay single if that's marriage.
I think that's joking. I'm common law marriage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different kind of love, but it's still love. Right. Okay. We need to talk about a few things that's going on. Phil, I just think you got a really positive outlook on life, and you and me are very similar. We've done this for a long, long time. And you can get to a point where you suddenly start earning a bit of credibility for what you do. Do you know what I mean? Because I do feel like people underestimate podcasts a great deal. As a business to business model, they're perfect. LinkedIn, if you're going to do business to business with podcasts, is the perfect platform for anybody that's going to do podcasts, and it takes time.
Just looking at Fame and Bcast on LinkedIn, I follow Tom Hunt, who's this guy who created Bcast, which is this amazing hosting. It's one of the platforms I use. I use 2 platforms because as a podcast guy who produces, I like to have options to see, okay, which one will best fit my client's needs. And Fame is Tom's first company where it hosts it produces podcasts for business to business stuff, and it's amazing. And he's done amazing. Just seeing him grow, and then he launched Bcast, which is even better. And just being connected to him on LinkedIn and seeing the growth of him, and holy shit, the credibility you get with podcasting is insane. Some of the interviews you can get, holy shit.
It's amazing. I remember when Dax Shepard started his podcast. When Dax Shepard did our Armchair Expert first, I reached out to him and said, "Hi Dax, how's it going? Would you like to come on our podcast? Can I come on?" One of those things. But Dax Shepard now is interviewing Prince Harry, fucking Obama, all sorts of things. His phone's ringing. Right, okay, look, we have some things to talk about before we get out of here. We're running out of time. We have mentioned it earlier in the show. It's fast coming up. We've got 2 months to go. And yes, on the 29th of September, we have Pod Aid. We are working round the clock. We've built a great schedule, 24-hour long shows that we're going to bring all in a 24-hour span. 9 a.m. on the 29th of September UK time till 9 a.m. UK time on the 30th of September, which is International Podcast Day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sure is. Today, I've been to Recce, our venue. We have an amazing venue thanks to the guys at Shrewsbury Town and the community. It's the Reach Community Hub, which is just outside football, the Shrewsbury Town Football Club. Here are pictures of our venue that we're going to be. That's Alfie there, my kid, standing there. So this is the room we're going to be using. Reach have come out. They've measured that back wall there. I like the Shrewsbury Town and community logo in the background, but we're going to get like banners, green screens and stuff to cover that. We're going to have a desk in front of there. We've done that TV on the back wall so we can have the YouTube playing whilst people are waiting. It's amazing. People are coming in. We've got StreamYard going. We've got cameras given to us by Trevor from SAS, which is a staging studio, Shropshire. We have our sponsors as in Reach, and we're doing this for Lincoln Davis, which is a Shrewsbury charity. Awesome. We have a text to donate number now, but I'm not going to put that up now because you guys aren't going to remember it. But we're going to start rolling that up very soon. Go to the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk, which is our sister website, to find all the information there. Everything will be rolled out on USUK soon too. And Tom, do you want to tell everybody about the other show we've got?
Oh, guys, guess what? We got shows. We got shows for days. We have this show, Wednesday Night Live, which we bring to you every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. UK time. And that's just basically us, you suckers, just bullshitting and talking to good people like our good friend Phil here. We have What's the Difference podcast with Alex Whiteley and Tom Bruno. We are a interview podcast, entertainment basis only, and we like to bring on the most interesting people we can possibly find around the world to come and talk to us. Our latest episode with Jeffrey Wiseman, if you might recognize him as the actor from Back to the Future 2 and 3. He is an amazing, very interesting dude. We're trying to get him to get his own podcast going because he's just such a fucking brilliant dude. He knows so many people.
He's got one of those great voices.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking brilliant. So we have that show. We have Yelling at Clouds with Eric Pfluger. And Eric's one of the most prolific dudes I've ever talked to in my life. If you want someone to convince you that you are, just a great person, or if you want to hear some experiences from an underrated artist, and I mean underrated, the man is a brilliant artist. He drew that picture himself, by the way. Definitely check out Yelling at Clouds with Eric Pfluger. We have all of these amazing shows on our website, which is USUKNetwork.com. USUKNetwork.com, guys, the hub for all these amazing shows. It is our website, and we love it. And if you like our website, then maybe you should reach out to the people that built it for us. And that is the people over at WebOrchard.com. WebOrchard.com is the same thing I tell you every single week. They are a website designing business. That's what they do. They don't do anything else. They make websites for you. They make beautiful, intricate websites that, they really help you grow your business. If you think that social media is doing enough for you, I'm going to let you in a little secret, guys. It's not. Social media does a lot of great things, but building your business is something that needs to be done in steps. And one of these steps that you need is a website, whether you have an OnlyFans, whether you have pictures of your cats, whether you have an Etsy, any of these type of things, you need a website for. And guess what? The guys over at WebWatch.com do exactly that. So reach out and tell them that we sent you.
Yes.
That is an amazing, I have to say, read. I am so impressed. Very well done.
Off the top of his head, baby.
Yeah, no, it's as an ad read, I know it's fully off the top of his head, but I must say, remembering all those amazing facts and doing it without making an error in like one breath is surprisingly.
Oh, I make errors all the time. I just pretend. I just talk faster. I'm like, you didn't hear me say that. I didn't say that.
It's like Tasmanian devil. David, I want to say a huge round of applause and congratulations on the 100th episode for Speakeasy.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great show. I watched that back.
A lot of fun.
Here's to 100 more. There's some rum and coke there for you. 100 more episodes of Speakeasy. Any plans? Have you guys taken a break now? You've got a couple more episodes. What's going on with Speakeasy?
As of right now, we're taking a break. I think the earliest we're looking to get back onto it is in October, but we're trying to figure stuff out as well. Try and sort of create the new look and all this other shit, and go back to getting more and more guests on. I for sure need to upgrade my equipment instead of like just my cell phone and earbuds. So I want to work on that while everyone else.
I think that's your style, though. That's you, man.
You want to know what? This is my old PS4 headphone, a headset that I used until I upgraded because I want to look somewhat professional. Look at this. He only has one ear.
You're welcome, George. You're welcome.
But yeah, you don't need anything fancy to upgrade. Like your camera is great, the audio is coming in perfect. You're good, and if you want, get a Yeti, a Blue Yeti mic, and you're fucking golden, man.
It works. He does the job. He does the job.
Tom, can you end the show because I'm desperate for a piss? Just get Phil to talk about his show and then end the show.
Is that what we do? I don't even know how to end the show. Phil, tell everyone where they can follow you, where they can reach you, where they can see your show, my good sir.
If you want to listen to entrepreneurs tell their story and you can learn how to start your own business and listen to me do that, go to investingyourselfpod.com. It's the #1 stop for my podcast. If you want to follow me as I do daily lives on Instagram, it's at podcasterphilbetter. There you can find out everything else about me. But I'm so happy to be here and learn so much and connect with amazing podcasters. From Tom and Dave and maybe Alex.
Maybe.
He's not here, so I don't have to be kind of nice to him anymore.
Yeah, no, he's out of the room. All right, guys, this is how we end the show, just because for our guests' purposes only. I'm going to announce the show. I'm going to say it, and then me, and then David, then you are going to announce the names. This has been Wednesday Nights Live. I'm your host, Tom Bruno.
I'm David Graby.
And I'm Phil Better.
And I'm Alex Wiley. God bless us, everyone.
I'm taking a tinkle. Don't mind me. Oh,
Bye.